with dreams and make believe. The face of pride we didn't know begins to show. Begins to show. It just took time to find my own. Get up and go. No point in trying to hide your demons now. Let's go! Get up and go. Each breath is different from the last. Shades of grey are fading fast. I never thought I'd see the day. It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
2, 1.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. We are about to get into the second week here of the Summer Championship of the NUEL. Going to be watching Lancaster Bombers, a little bit of an old stalwart here in the university scene, up against You're Kidding Me, which is a very punny take on York, because it's the University of York. Either way, joining me again this week is going to be the wonderful Dream, the brilliant man, the new man, but he's been doing a fabulous job so far. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing Lancaster play. I believe the only game I've ever done all besides the ones last week was actually Lancaster on Overpass, so it should be interesting to get back into this one. Obviously, I was excited to see a team like York play as well. Lancaster, well, a storied history to say the least, as you informed me about their time in the NUEL.
Okie doke. I just got a little quick message through from one of our admins there saying that there was a problem with the server, so they might have had to change it over. But it seems like that problem has now been sorted. So I think we're just sort of going to wait here for a little bit of a reset and whatnot. But yeah, Lancaster, pretty strong side. You know, they have had a very good couple of years as a squad. I believe we've got a few new players here, to be fair. Tobbs and Enigma, I definitely recognise, whether they've kind of changed their names around or whatnot. But I was, you know, the Big Iron and Experilis, I believe, you know, were names Matt, all that kind of thing. I remember those guys. But a couple of these names here I don't quite recognise, have to be honest. But nonetheless, the sort of structure of the team, the name of the team, they've done very, very well over the past couple of years. They did lose at NUEL Live, which was the final, of course, of the Spring Championship. I believe 3-1 in the end to Warwick, which I think may well have made it a 3-2 because they had a game in hand. I can't quite remember off the top of my head whether they actually won a map or not. I do seem to think in my head that the score was 3-1, so they may well have just ended up getting essentially 3-0'd, but because they came through that winners bracket, they were given kind of a map in hand. But Warwick, you know, a really good showing from them. Maybe going to be seeing a bit of those guys in the future, hopefully. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, it should be an interesting game, I think. Like we said, York are definitely a team that we've covered a few times, and they've got some stronger players. Again, though, whether it's the nature of the summer tournament, whether it is the nature of you know, just bringing in fresh players. Don't recognize all the names. Charlie and Iwan definitely do. I think Sigma as well. But BCG and El Savant W24 definitely don't recognize him. Anyway, it looks like we are going to be getting straight into the knife round here. We did have a couple of issues with this before when we were bringing in the Zeuses, with it being the summer tournament. They are allowed to use this Zeus just to kind of add a little bit of freshness to a little bit of a stale kind of round, the knife round. We see it a lot, tends not to have the biggest effect on a lot of teams, but it's always good fun to add something new. And here we go, we're going straight on in. Enigma is going to be just kind of chilling around towards the back here. Knives coming out as the Zeus get missed, but I think all these kills pretty much so far have been with the Zeus. But now they've all been expended, apart from James Stain, rather. And he doesn't use his, but it doesn't matter too much in the end, as it is the Lancaster Bombers taking the knife round. How important, Dream, do you think that the knife round actually is on Overpass?
On a map like Overpass, you do want to start on that CT side. I find it's a lot easier to start on the CT side for most maps. You've just got that sort of aura around you. It's more of a mental thing. The knife round, though, it shouldn't take much effect on any teams at all. You should just go into the game, you take your side, it doesn't really matter. But Overpass, you never know what's going to happen. I suppose you want your preferred side if you're a team.
Yeah, definitely. That is very true. And something that we talked about a little bit in the pre-game is Lancaster are a very strong team in Overpass. It is one of their best. And maybe with a few new players, it does depend on how they are going to react to this new lineup. And of course, bounce back, talk about the mental game, bounce back from losing what a lot of people had them down on paper to win. They've beaten Warwick a few times before in the final, but not when it came to NUEL. I think King of the North and Fragsock are the other two big events that go on at university level. Either way, minute into the round here, not too much action happening. No aggression from the CTs, which is something that you sometimes do see on the CT side of Overpass in the pistol, and that's kind of allowed the T side to stack up towards the bathrooms. Tob's going to be the first port of call here as he drops back towards Bank, gets immediately gooshed up there. Sigma as well drops his teammate. Bomb should be planted momentarily, and no kills coming in for the CT side as yet. Tob's missing so many shots, eventually gets taken down. It's Ibrahim to trade the first one back, definitely. And now into a 4-on-2. I think this is pretty much all over at this point in time. Wheelneus, the only one remaining. Just land a nice little flick onto Charlie, but 3 more to find. Not really enough time. I don't think there's even a kit down. And they're all just playing the post plant perfectly. And there you go. He will get taken down in the end. So York get the first round on the board. A little bit of BM from Sigma at the end, but a very decisive pistol indeed.
Yeah, that was fantastic from York. Actually, they didn't gain any information towards mid, but they also didn't give anything towards Lancaster Bomber side. They did peek it, but they didn't realize that they were like, well, they're just coming straight up through connector there, and so York were able to make their way up, and then Lancaster had made their way back to the site already, so it's just an easy round for York there. So hard to play from the sites on Overpass, especially if you're getting rushed down by the 5-man. There's 5 versus 2 in the site there originally as well, so it's a pretty easy round for York in the pistol. Gives them the edge hit on Overpass.
Playing this anti-force buy situation rather well as well. Wheelneus has managed to get himself a UMP, it would seem. Could be a little bit of a difference maker, but 2 AKs, 3 SMGs, very conventional setup, a lot of utility, making sure pretty much sticking together, at least the core of the team, and then they have a couple of players spread out to check any aggression from the CT side. So I do quite like this setup, to be fair. Playing the long-range angles over towards the long area in the bathrooms. It's a pretty perfect read from York. Again, not giving too much away. Just trying to catch someone off being aggressive. Tobbs, his timing is pretty perfect here as Charlie had just left the underground position. Oh, here we go, though. Up the ladder. Charlie spots it out. Does land the dink, but not the kill as yet. But certainly done the damage. And the information found. James Stain trying to go to find what he can. Unfortunately, it's not all that much. And Tobbs gets taken down as well. So immediately into a 5-on-3 here.
Yeah, that was really good though from York. They just reacted so well to what was going on the map. That person pushing up connector, as soon as he gets dinked down there, they just react. They'd already started to take mid control between that, and then they just started to flank and connector, make sure they get the kill. James Stain tries to help his teammate, unfortunately gets taken down for it as well, and that gives the advantage. But time is running low. There's still a chance the bomb could get taken down here if Lancaster play this correctly.
Oh, this UMP as well from Wheelneus. Unfortunately, there's so many smokes around. Cannot see anything at all. So this is definitely thought out from York. Worked on the executes here, it would seem. And it might just pay dividends. We'll see. Ibrahim tries to get aggressive through the smoke. It costs him his life. Wheelneus really just trying to go for the exits here, it would appear. Manages to take down one. It's going to be $600 in the bank in future, but unfortunately, nothing else for him. So a little bit of economic damage. Doesn't even drop one of those AKs, though. Enigma gets pre-fired by Charlie in the end. And York pick up a rather decisive, rather clean anti-force buy accumulator round, as our friend B-Magic would call them. Doing very well there.
Yeah. They just need to make sure they convert these rounds now. It's only going to be an eco, no upgraded armor. a couple upgraded pistols. Though you've got the CZ and the P250. I wouldn't put it past the CZ in its current state to possibly get a 5k here, but it's very unlikely. Should just be an easy round for York. It is going to be a 5-man A run rush from Lancaster. York seem to be playing a really good default style, though. They are waiting for information from Lancaster, just holding out. They realise it's going to be an eco. It's possibly going to be a stack. I'm hoping that if they do decide to go in, there's going to be some sort of flash or at least a double peak coming up for them now.
We'll have to see. Savant seems to want to go for it. Turns away from the flashbang. Well, I don't think that was actually over towards long, to be fair. They are lining one up here, though, and a few players are ready to be on the receiving end of it. Oh, it's going to blind up a fair few of those CT players as well. They go peeking out with the AKs. James Stain's able to pick up one. Evahim as well gets himself a kill. Might just have fallen apart for York, but they figure out it's a long stack. They react accordingly. They've dropped both of those AKs, though, and they have been retrieved by Lancaster, so they'll certainly be happy with that to take the one-tap potential into the next round, but ultimately, a third round on the board, as you would expect from York, but not quite as clean as the previous round, it has to be said.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit dangerous when you're going into A long, especially like a map like Overpass. You don't usually see the stacks unless they are towards sort of B. It's quite hard to stack that A side. There's not many positions you can really hide on that are retake positions. That are not retake positions, I should say, but still good for them. Go for 5A long, get a couple AKs out of it, and that's the perfect round. You get 2 kills as well. It leaves the rest of the York players just on SMGs getting to the next round, and it forces the York economy into a bit of an odd predicament that could have been avoided.
Yeah, a little bit. They are lucky to be on the T side, but they certainly would have liked to have those AKs and been able to build up their money a little bit quicker. We might end up seeing a little bit of a cheeky bonus buy, or bonus round rather, at least from these players who survive with the SMGs, but apparently not. They are going to go for the 4 AKs, the MAC-10 leading the way, something that I think we've seen for the past few years, a little bit expected on the T side. They do like to go for this, but might not work out for them. We'll have to see. Aggression in towards short does not pay off. Wheelnius as well is trapped here, does connect the spray onto Savant, actually takes down a second, brings it into a 4-on-3, left on very low HP indeed, but it's still looking good for the CT side.
Yeah, that's perfect from Lancaster. They're getting proactive in these gun round, or at least the first gun round, knowing that they've lost these 3 in a row. It's important you get this first gun round. They go for short aggression, get 2 kills out of it, and that gives them the man advantage as well. So now York, I think, are ready to go for this big execute.
Ooh, nice shot in from BCG. He will make his way in towards the site. He does get taken down, but only that MAC-10 player, so a good player to bait around. Molotov goes in to hold the rotation of Jamstain. And now a difficult retake for the CT side, coming split off from each other. Flash does not blind up Tobbs at all, but he is going to get taken down to low HP from that nade and finished off by Charlie. All onto Jamstain here. Is he going to be ready for I1 below him? No, he isn't. Caught with a nade out. And an easy clutch in the end from I1, a 4th round on the board. For You're Kidding Me.
Yeah, that was a really odd round there in the late sort of execute from Lancaster. For some reason, the only person that was directly even close to the site was the 6 HP player that was Wilderness, and the Heaven player decides to try and go through the smoke as well at the same time, even though his teammate has died. It's quite an odd position to be playing when you're in 6 HP. Surely you'd want to be the Heaven player there, so that you can be behind that smoke if it comes out, or you can just wait for the retake, but it's unfortunate for them. Now hopefully, Lancaster will learn from their mistake and recover in the following gun rounds. Obviously, they are just going to be in a half by now. But York looking quite good. Considering how much we talked up Lancaster as well, it's quite a surprise to see York get off to such a good start.
Yeah, York looked very, very prepared coming into this. I think something definitely to consider, like I said at the start, is the fact that Lancaster are playing with 3 new players here. So not sure if, graduations and things have gotten in the way, or just the fact that it is the summer and those guys have got other plans. Maybe they're away. You never know. You can never really know. Nice trades over towards middle. Tobbs does fall. Something that we haven't seen as well, Dream, is the fact that Tobbs has not been on that AWP.
Yeah.
Which is generally, his more comfortable weapon, and definitely has a very huge effect on Overpass on the CT side.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up. Overpass, even on the T side, that AW can make so much difference, especially if you're able to get those entries, if you're able to go for the picks. The CG side, though, like you said, it is more prevalent there. You got players like Device and Guardian, they absolutely flourish on a map like Overpass. You can go for aggressive peaks, but you can retain so much mid control without taking any away from the T side as well. And now it looks like you're going to go for that late A execute.
Here we go. Bomb trying to make its way in here, but walking on through the smoke, not really working out. Jamstains picked up 2. Flash goes in on towards Sigma. He does take down Jamstains. He needs to reload, but too many players to be checked in the end. And Lancaster managed to steal a round away against all the odds.
Yeah. I think the late execute there it's always a bit of a trouble going for a late execute, especially with so many players alive on the Lancaster side. There's so many angles to check. You don't really know. You don't know if they've taken information towards B as well. And they just ran straight into the Deagles. You've got to rush onto the site to get the bomb down as well. Just not great for them. And you look already, their economy's in such dire straits that they've had to go for this sort of force buy where someone, for some reason, has a Glock as well. Sigma has decided to take a Glock into the
Yeah, a little bit weird. Maybe he was expecting a gun at spawn. I don't see... Yeah, I don't... Did he drop an AK across, perhaps? A little bit weird.
Surely someone could have dropped him. Charlie could have dropped
something. Well, I mean, he only bought chest armor, right? And he's got $250, so it's like... He must have dropped something. Either way, straight into the meat grinder here. It doesn't really matter what weapon he is carrying. As it does appear, the round is all but over. They are going to get this bomb down, but with nothing but a Glock, you don't expect him to do much. He does cleanly take down Enigma, but Lancaster bombers hold off, and they get their kind of minimum requirement of players surviving. So very nice indeed to get their second round on the board.
He was just the dedicated bomb planter. He didn't need a gun for that round. That was his entire role. Get that bomb down on the site. You need a Glock. He can get 1 kill with it as well. I think that maybe he had overbought. He definitely got utility with it as well. So I think he had overbought, not realizing he hadn't bought a weapon yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. But to be honest, in the grand scheme of things, I don't think it would have made too much of a difference.
Yeah, I don't think it did in the end.
Going to be going for a quasi-buy here. And again, going to try and get this bomb down going into the next rifle round. Nice flashes coming on through. Do buy them a little bit of time to get some control. Savant as well drops the player at the barrel. Sigma here with the CZ, making up for his mistakes in the previous round. Manages to get his hands onto an AK. Enigma, though, on the edge of this smoke. Fires a little bit too early, perhaps. Gives his position away in the pit. And Iwan, I think, is going to try and... I'm a little bit confused. Trying to go through that smoke there, almost throws it away. And Enigma still being alive here is a real thorn in the side of Lancaster. His teammate has been dropped, but he's the only one remaining now, and maybe that's all they need. BCG so far away. Diffuse is going to come in, and it will be a third round on the board for Lancaster, but they definitely had to work a little bit harder than you would expect for that.
Yeah, that was confusing. I don't know why Enigma wasn't instantly killed. They looked like they were going to kill him after he shot, but then he just hid in the smoke. I think it was Iron just walked up to him and then just hid in the smoke. That is very confusing. And I don't think they realised the shots had come from the pit there. I don't know why they didn't realise, but that's unfortunate for them. Lancaster starting to get back in it. Maybe they heard our speech, starting to realise.
I mean, perhaps. We'll have to see here as we get into another rifle round. Tobbs misses that shot in towards middle, and he was given good opportunity to get into a really good position as they were a little bit late out there on the York side. Generally, you know, we see an AWP contest very early on in that position. So a little bit surprising that he ends up missing that. He takes a little bit of damage for his trouble as well. And he has to give up a pretty good position here. Double flash over towards long. Really like this. You can definitely see on the York side, they've been working on their executes. It just kind of depends on whether they work when the call comes to fruition, whether they can hit their shots or not.
Yeah, looks like they are just going to go for a mid control. This is nice from them as well, going for this. But oh, if he's watching the angle, he gets the kill as well. That's fantastic. You're absolutely but that is not good. What role now? Molotov. But still, it looks like York are really working on their stuff. They're playing really well right now, at least anyway.
Oh, Sigma creeping around that corner is Tobbs. Unfortunately, his teammate came running around the corner with a nade out, so couldn't even get the trade in. And Tobbs might just be able to single-handedly take this round for his team. Savant as well, going to try and go for the crouch peek. Takes him down as Tobbs was in between two angles there, as it were. Enigma, meanwhile, has tried to capitalize off of his teammates' aggression. He does so well, gets that trade in, keeps the man advantage for the CT side. But the bomb, meanwhile, is making its way over towards B. Everheim, the first one on the site, gets taken down. Wheelnius as well. Two of the new names on this side, not holding down B very well at all. And it will be a 2 versus 1. But Enigma being on low HP has got to be careful. He does have his hands on this AWP. But nonetheless, it's going to be easier said than done, especially because he's so far away from the site. He's just playing from heaven, as you can see, waiting for someone to peek into him. And I don't really think it's going to happen. These two Ts are pretty much inside each other right now. They are playing very, very close to each other and just waiting for the bomb tap to come in or hold to come in. And it does not in the end. As like I say, Enigma had just been going for the opportunity to come to him rather than creating the opportunities himself. And it will result in a 5th round on the board for York.
Yeah, that was really poor there from Lancaster. They were just playing in such odd positions. They weren't connected to each other. There seemed to be no communication on the B side as well. There's one playing retake and then just one playing close sight as well. You need to be more communicating like that. And it's a 3 versus 2 as well. It's not like one trade could change the round. They were acting like not one trade could change the round. They were just sitting in water and sitting in graffiti. It just doesn't make sense. And Wilderness needs to be more active there if he is going to sit in that position. But he's sort of shoulder peeking, not helping his teammate. And it just isolates those 1v1s, so it makes it easy for York to take the round.
Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, to be fair. A little bit of a shame, ultimately. But Tob's back on the AWP. Enigma are able to pull out an M4. And then there's a UMP, P250 and a Deagle dotted about. So you still give it to York here. They're going to be hitting this B-bomb site as well. They've found a significant weakness. Tobbs jumps on through the smoke, though, and manages to pick up 1. He gets a 2nd as well. He's looking for the 3rd, but can't quite land it. And Charlie manages to trade the head back through the wall. Still, it's into a 2-on-2. Enigma in this pesky pit position yet again. Here's the bomb going down. Jamstain seems to be on his way over towards Graffiti. Trying to hold to see if anyone's going to go for the cross. Charlie spots him out, runs out of ammo, though. Has to go in for the reload. Enigma now, the only one remaining, but Charlie as well on 16 HP, gets taken down. And a great round coming in from Enigma. A 2K, he's going to run away to try and retrieve this AWP. Tobbs with the brilliant 2K as well, at very close range with that AWP. Secures Lancaster a 4th round, and a little bit of a stolen round. You know, their buy was a lot weaker. York had all the utility in the world, all the AKs, and they just rushed straight into the B-bomb site, and somehow Lancaster pull it off.
Yeah, that was really good for them. The AWP on Tobbs just able to give them that kill that was able to put them back into that round. York just a little bit sloppy on the execute towards B, though, weren't really focusing, but still allows Lancaster to get the reset, and York now on a pretty weak buy here. They do save a little bit of economy into the next round so they can get a buyout, which is smart from them managing their economy really well.
Heads firmly screwed on in this game from York. Doing well on the T side so far. Lancaster have answered back with a few rounds here and there, but like I say often, it can be very hard to replicate the aggression and the looser style of those force buy rounds in your gun rounds. And obviously the risk is much higher. Tobbs, a little bit unfortunate that that smoke was just a tad too close, I suppose. Not quite deep enough in towards short to allow him to see those heads. But York are going to use that to their advantage. Going to go rushing on out here. Iwan tapping away. BCG in with some nice shots on the CZ. A team kill coming on in. And Tobbs from the site, as always, being reliable. And somehow they've managed to pull this round back in their favor. Savant could have picked him up there, but ran out of ammo, it would seem. Takes down Enigma in just a second. Gets Tobbs as well. And has actually made this doable. Gets his hands onto the AWP. And Ibrahim, one of the newer players for this CT side, peeks out to find Savant looking the wrong way and cleanly gets the headshot. But again, a very, very tough round for Lancaster.
Yeah, they're just giving up so much map control against the Pistols, which is exactly what you should do, but you need to be hitting your shots when you're coming in the site like that. Just Tobbs whiffing a couple shots there, does go down in the end. That's a lot of damage done to the Lancaster economy, especially because you're in York going into the buy round now. I believe they didn't get the bomb down, unfortunately, which would have been great, but that was so winnable for them, especially having that AWP. It was a better weapon than the FAMAS, but the headshot comes in. Now it looks like York are going for some B map control as well, as the rest of their players are just holding in connector and A.
Someone wants to get aggressive over towards short. There's 2 players stacked up right now for the CT side. Seem to just be holding it, though, as a bit of an off angle, perhaps. Enigma at close range. There's trusty MP9. No one wants to make any moves yet. This is a pretty heavy make or break round for both sides in terms of economy and deciding on how the latter stages of this first half go.
Yeah, you'd expect a better CT half from Lancaster considering the history of the roster. Obviously, like you said, they do have some new players, but you think there must be some sort of resemblance of the old roster here in Overpass. It doesn't look as confident as they usually do, though, and that's a great opening hit from Iwan. Allows them into the B site now as well.
Here we go. As they're making their way on through, there's so much damage being traded back by the CT side here. Bomb does go down. AWP in play in the hands of Tobbs, always dangerous. There's a couple of kits dotted across as well. Charlie, though, manages to take down Jamstain. No shots being hit by Tobbs yet. They know that AWP is in play. No one wants to go for the peak. You can see Savant is really, really testing the patience of the CT AWPer, but everybody else is falling down around him now. They're just trying to go for the shoulder bait, but Sigma comes flying on in to find the headshot and takes him down. And they will manage to steal that away, I believe. Oh, no, Iwan already had one. I do apologize. But nonetheless, a great round coming in from York as they, again, demolish that B site.
Yep, they're starting to take it away on the T side now. They did get 4 rounds in a row earlier, but now even just getting dotted rounds is going to help them out. But they put Lancaster onto a weak economy here. It's going to be a full eco pretty much. Tobbs does decide to go for a CZ in armor, which is, I think, maybe a misbuy considering the rest of his team's buy, especially he's the AWPer as well. You want to have him the most money, but he's now got the least. $250 is not good enough, really, especially when the rest of your team are saving. They may be able to find a kill here and connect it, but Charlie does decide to just tap away. It does get traded by Jamstain. The VCG comes back in. He was didn't have him.
Yeah, unfortunate that Jamstain takes down the one player with the Glil. Not really ideal weaponry. I'm going to be watching the angle. Trigger discipline comes on through, but a little bit late on the shot perhaps, or trying to hit the crazy reaction shot. Actually falls somehow. And Savant does trade it back, but still damage being done. That was the AWP player as well, so a fairly hefty chunk of money for him. And I feel like, okay, Savant, I thought he'd thrown it out the map type thing, but I guess he was throwing his M4 away to save the AWP. Makes sense. Smart play indeed, taking no chances at all. And now the bomb will get down onto this A site. BCG in with a nice shot over towards the stairs dumpster area. And now it's all onto Enigma to try and win this 1-on-3 with a USP. I don't know about you, but not feeling so confident.
Yeah, I can't imagine he's able to get anything done here. If he can even just get a weapon, maybe, and run away. There is one player just isolated on the site. Maybe catch him off guard here. That's Sigma. Oh, it doesn't look like he's going to be able to do that. And this should be a 7th round on the board, unless we've seen the most insane clutch on our life coming up.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough time really either. He can't even find that one. There's a little bit awkward angle, to be fair. But possibly, I don't think there's no guns down on the site, so no, there's not really any chance at recovery and actually falls to the bomb, but not like it's going to have too much of a dire effect on the next round. The money here is still a little bit terrible for the CT side. You know, Tobbs with hardly any at all. Ibrahim as well, not really feeling the buy. So it's just going to be a quasi-buy, really, from the CT side. So it's really not looking too good for them. At least 8 rounds here, you would assume, for York. Although we have seen Lancaster steal rounds like this away. But going into that CT side, I'm sure they'll be happy with 7 already. Any more at this point in time is just even more of an advantage and a bonus going into that second half.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Getting 8 rounds on the T half of Overpass is absolutely fantastic, but there's possibilities they can even get 10. Considering the economy for Lancaster, they really won't be able to get anything done on the remaining rounds of the CT side. Maybe next round they'll be able to get a decent buyout. I'm not sure the AWP will be able to come out on Tobbs unless he gets a drop from someone else who is currently the lowest amount of money on his team. Oh, but this is great for them. Just playing together, they have that MP9 out and they decide to go for the push there with the aggression. But York reacting well as they have been the entire game and decide to just rotate towards A.
Ooh, nice shots coming in from the CT side here. They pick up 2 very quick kills indeed. Iwan with the AWP as well. Not really the ideal weapon to be taking on these pistols unless he can keep the range advantage. Does take down 1, but they're really apprehensive here on the T side. And AK recovered for Enigma as well. Flank coming on through. I'm not sure how effective it is going to be, though, because he stops in towards short. So I thought he was going to come up through connector, but opts not to do so. Jamstein going to be holding the rotation, so to speak, from the T side.
Yep. And this is what York have been doing the entire game, just running down that clock, waiting for the last possible moment, and that's a bad position from Wilness. There was no real possibility of trade, but there we go. Nimo actually does come in and able to trade it, and take 2 down with him. Lancaster get a 6th round on a round they probably had no chance at, well, believed to have real no chance of winning.
Yeah, very small, but that kind of seems to be the situation a lot of the time here for Lancaster. As soon as you rule them out, you know, the pressure is a little bit eased off, so to speak, because maybe even they themselves don't expect to be taking the round, and then suddenly they find themselves picking up 2 very early kills, and they go, right, guys, we can actually win this one. I've got an AK, you know, I'll clutch it 1v2, don't worry, on the A site. It's all good. So it's a little bit odd. And then coming into these gun rounds, it tends to be a very different story indeed, because I think the execute's just a lot cleaner from York. And here we go. Maybe it's their time to steal a round away. Iwan opens up very early on. Indeed gets his hands onto an M4, but low HP from the nades and things that had been raining on down. Wilnius will fall. Enigma gets a bit over-aggressive, perhaps. Not able to take down the bomb planter in the smoke. It costs him his life, but it's still into a 3-on-3. You would heavily favour the CTs, though, as they've got that superior weaponry and number of kits across the board. These pistols are going to have to go to work here to try and secure this round for York. They're in pretty decent post-ban positions, that's for sure. As Charlie kind of playing the bait setup up against his team. Molotov in towards short. Diffuse going to come on in. Tobbs and Wheelnius to hold it on down as the hold from Jamstein works out in the end. And they manage to take the round and all the kills. So saved by Lancaster, but certainly damage done by York. They managed to get the bomb down as well. It's not going to have too much of a dire effect to the economy of Lancaster as it is the final round, but all the same, still marks on the board for York, just not quite able to secure the round. But then again, it was another round where we don't quite expect them to do so.
Yeah, that was unfortunate for them as well. I believe someone was in the smoke. He was planting the bomb and he got sprayed down, but then somehow died to the molly as well. I'm not sure how that actually happened, but still a good reset there from Lancaster. Used their utility well. The Molotov should have been a little bit deeper and short to make sure no one could peek, but other than that, it wasn't bad at all. And looks like Tobbs is actually going to get an early kill with the Molotov as well. He's had quite an impact in the later half. He did start off pretty poorly, but now that he's got the AWP in his hand, he is starting to make an impact here on Overpass.
Yeah, to be fair, and this again, Tobbs right. He's almost similar to Smooyer in a way, where it's weird that his consistency round per round isn't always there, but then when he kind of comes alive, he picks up like 3 or 4 kills in a row.
Just he's not comparing his skill level to that of Smooyer as well.
Yeah,
the
just his
play style. Yeah. I immediately picked up what you meant, but obviously some people will be wondering if you meant the actual skill level of Smooyer, because I believe Smooyer would have more than 10 kills in this game.
Yeah, probably. Either way, proven here in this round, he opens up very early on with a little bit of aggression. Meanwhile, the rest of the T side making their way over towards A. Jamstein in with the flank. Doesn't actually get to do too much in the end as he kind of whiffed the spray there, but does pick up the final kill of the half. An 8-7 half coming in favour only just of Lancaster. And I mean, it's kind of difficult to say. It was a little bit of a recovery from them. As you can see, past the pistol and the initial gun round, they managed to get the majority of rounds on the board. But, York were off to a very good start. And like I said earlier on in that half, 7 rounds, going to be happy with that.
Yeah, that's not bad at all, especially going into that CT side, which is the preferred side for most teams. It's the favourable side as well, if you look at the statistics. It'd be interesting to see what they're able to get done now on the CT side, I should say, and if Lancaster can put it up on the CT side. This pistol will decide the flow of the half, as it looks like it is going to be a straight up B rush coming in from Lancaster.
Yeah, Savant and Sigma chiming in already. Charlie as well gets 2 here. A little bit of a shame that we missed that one, and now it's all going to be on to Tobbs. as things are looking a little bit dire. There's a couple of low HP players on the CT side for sure, but ultimately, you would expect them to take this. They're all stacked up on each other. I guess if he had armor, there was possibly a chance for Tobbs to just spam away with the Glock and possibly find some heads, but I think without the armor, he doesn't even need to get a headshot here. They can just return the spam, ultimately. Going to go walking on through short to try and find a little bit of control here, but unfortunately not able to do so. Every now and then a CT will peek out. Iwan, there you go, tagging him up for 30 in one bullet. You can kind of tell it's not going to take too long to take him down. Nice little bit of movement, I suppose, to get in, but Sigma will finish him off. Another issue that he had there really was the bomb in such an awkward position. The odds fully stacked against Tobbs in that situation.
Yeah, it was a bit of a predicament for him there, but now Lancaster, they've got a chance to get rid of their pistol woes. Unfortunately, they will be on pistols again, but this time they'll be fully upgraded. 3 Deagles, a CZ, and a P250. Obviously, no bomb went down last round, so they won't go for the save. York now as well. Obviously got the buyout. 1 rifle for them, the rest of them SMGs. Looks like they're going to get pushed down towards connector and mid here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting turn of affairs for Lancaster. Their pistols seem to be a weakness. Perhaps 3 of those players that they lost to the kind of roster changes, you know, were the prevalent pistol players. I do seem to remember Matt being very good with the pistol, to be fair. Although he used to use the P2K, and I think I called him out for it once, like as a bit of a joke, and then he got like 3-4 kills in the pistol, so it's pretty crazy. Iwan doing a good job here with the MP7. As soon as I say that, though, he gets his head cleanly taken off by the Deagle of Wheelnius, but ultimately I think the work has been done by him, and the rest of the A players here are holding it down. Tobbs all by himself does take Savant down, gets his hands back onto the bomb, and it could be argued with this Deagle, if he plays the range properly, he could beat out some of these SMGs quite easily. But obviously he's not going to be fully aware that it's 3 SMG players remaining and doesn't really know where they're at, as he's now encroaching onto the A site. And there you go, perfectly played from Sigma, uses his teammate as bait and finds Tobbs with his knife out. An easy pickup in the end. York certainly going to be happy with that.
Yep. Now York just need to keep it steady here. Be sure they're able to grind these rounds out. That first gun round is going to be super important. It's the pistols and the first gun rounds that could decide the flow of a game. Obviously, Lancaster, they've actually lost both pistols so far, and I'll wait to see if they lose both first gun rounds.
Should be a pretty easy throwaway round, I suppose, or an easy pickup for York. The nade just 100 to O's Tobbs. I think so. Even more than that, to be fair. The nade damage that it does is massive because it does loads onto the other players as well. Must have landed right under him. Very rarely see that, to be fair. The 1 nade, even without armor, as they are so very fickle in CSGO, I suppose is the best way to put it.
Inconsistent, I would describe it as the way it lands.
Yeah, indeed. You know, and ramps and stairs and things like that just seem to have such a weird effect on them. It's very odd indeed. Either way, only 50 seconds thereabouts remaining. Iwan had come in with a flank here. That allows Savant to get aggressive, and he picks up $1,200. Not quite able to get the 1,800, but pretty much finishes the round there and then, to be fair. And a very nice music kit to go with. But yeah, the first gun round coming in here, it's going to be really, really important. I'm not sure about you, but I feel like York might just have the upper hand here. They're able to get an AWP out, and they are seemingly a little bit more switched on overpass.
Yeah, the problem is in this round they've got 2 MP7s, whereas Lancaster, they do have full AK-47s. Depends the impact this AWP can have, and well, I don't think Ewan really needs to shoot there with the AWP. His position wasn't known, he's just giving away information that's not needed. But the utility for Lancaster is not bad at all. They're looking pretty good into this gun round. It just comes down to whether they've got a good execute, they've got a good plan to go into the round, and obviously if they find these kills that are coming up.
Slow take, slow default, I suppose, from Lancaster. They've not taken too much control as yet. And York have actually gotten a fair amount of control themselves over towards short, putting these 2 MP7s that you mentioned to work, at least for now. No one seems to be biting on the Lancaster Bombers side of things, however. Flash going to go in towards Monster, try and pull a bit of info, but Wheelneus is holding it down rather passively. I think, again, Lancaster, like I say, playing this default, have just been waiting to see if anyone gets aggressive. Tobbs is in connector, so this is pretty decent control to have. If they go towards B, I think it could be a little bit difficult for them. These MP7s, the run and gun style, really going to be a thorn in their side. Molotov goes on in. Wheelneus going to go creeping on through. Charlie with the nade out almost gets caught out there, but buying time. There's only 20 seconds remaining. These Molotovs and nades and things coming in are going to be doing work. And as well on the side of Lancaster, with there being hardly any time remaining, the rotations are going to come in sooner rather than later. But it seems to be working out for Lancaster. They picked up 2 kills, only 1 being traded back by the CTs. Great pre-fire from Savant there. Iwan as well with the AWP chimes in with 1. And there you go. There's no time remaining. As it would seem the T side, as well as myself, didn't quite notice that there was no time at all. And York managed to just casually win that one. It was looking a little bit dicey there for a second, but just, I think that spray through the smoke, dropping the bomb from Savant, really, really paid dividends in the end. And now Lancaster, their economy is an absolute mess.
Yeah, it's not looking good for them now. York, surprised they're actually to win that. They were able to win that, I should say. And wow, that is an absolutely fantastic shot from Tobbs. And maybe we'll be able to pick up that AWP now as well.
He gets another one in before getting his hands onto the AWP. They have lost one on the T side of things, but certainly going to be happy with this. Glass cannon AWP can definitely work. BCG getting wall bang there. And I'm not sure if that shot hit as well through the wall, to be fair, but either way, Everheim, I don't know why I keep calling him Everheim. I just want to say that Everheim comes through with the damage dealt, picks up the kill, brings it into a 4-on-2. Tobbs certainly doing a lot of work so far in this round. Shall have to see, though. They're stacked over towards A pretty heavily. Really putting all their chips in here. But the bomb, meanwhile, is all the way back towards connector. So T side not quite sure of what they want to do.
Yeah. And they're just waiting to see if they can spot any sort of information, see if there's any aggression from York. But York are playing this pretty well, just going for the retakes on each site. And in this situation, though, I'd probably just play 2 on one site. There's no point in going for a retake situation. There's no way you get back into the sites. But now, 30 seconds left on the clock. Seems to be a lot of late executes in this game from both sides. And it can create for a lot of drama. The Molotov now going onto that A site towards the truck. Molotov into bank as well. Denies any retake from that position.
Nice shot coming in from Jamstain. And there is a trade back onto him, but now only on 24 HP. I don't think Charlie really has too much chance at all, to be honest, and he seems to sense that as he is making his way to go and save silently. Whether he'll be able to as well is another question, but it doesn't look like they're too dedicated to hunting here on the Lancaster Bombers side. They're just happy to, again, have stolen a round away, but it's a very, very inconsistent, very dangerous way to play your Counter-Strike. And I feel like these rounds that Lancaster are winning are more on York playing them poorly rather than Lancaster, you know, having the incredible strategy and outsmarting people and things like that.
Yeah. It won't be a full buy if you do decide to buy now. They may be able to get 2 more rifles out. They could, you know what? They could actually go for the buy here. Charlie could drop a rifle. Sigma could drop 1 as well. There'd be a little bit of, yeah. I think that's okay. They're just gonna go for upgraded pistols, but definitely could have taken the buy into this round. Obviously, you don't necessarily need to. It's better to just go for these upgraded pistols, save your money, get the full utility and full weaponry. It wouldn't have been an awful buy for York. It's like they're just going to take map control now as well, Lancaster. The only M4 available is on Charlie. It's the only gun available, really. No armor available for everyone else as well. It should just be an easy clean up for Lancaster, and it is actually an A stack from the York side.
Yeah, this may just be the incorrect bomb site to stack as well, but we'll have to see. It's difficult to tell. You can still have players over towards the short area, and then obviously they make their way up connector. And lo and behold, you're on A for those like 2 people in the chat that have never ever watched or played Overpass. But you know, the idea is there that it can be very hard to tell from even our position where we have all this information available what side they're going to be hitting. But they make their way in towards B, as I make a whole palaver about they could go A. They decide not to, and I think that pretty much should secure the round here, even with all 10 players alive. They'd started to rotate on the York side of things, but not quite fast enough. And as you can see, by their body language, by their positioning, they're just immediately setting up for the exits here, as there is not much hope at taking the round. Charlie very far away indeed, obviously, with that M4 that he wants to take into the next round. But Lancaster playing very well to recover it on back, take the opportunity that they have been given to just bring the lead that York have into 1. And they might just be able to secure another gun round the way that it's been going if they can cleanly just break the economy a couple more times of the T side, of the CT side rather. They might just end up winning the game, to be fair. Wheelnius drops towards the end thanks to BCG, but ultimately not much coming for the "you're kidding me" side. Lancaster up to 10 rounds. They'll certainly be very happy with the way that this second half has been going. And as you can see, that CT economy really cannot suffer another loss.
Yeah, they would be broken in half by that. And it would allow Lancaster, I believe, for the first time this game to actually take the lead as well. Oh no, they did have the lead at half-time, 8-7, but since then, they haven't had the lead at all. In the most of the CT half, they were behind York. It just comes to see what they're able to do here. It's like they are going again for an early B sort of execute, or at least taking lots of information early towards B. Can be dangerous doing this, having 5 players towards B, but, well, what a pick there from Tobbs to the AWP onto BCG. And now Lancaster react to that, wondering what they should do here. Maybe just go straight for the B execute. They know there's going to be 1 less player, but obviously York have decided to rotate 1 in here.
Yeah, Tobbs ever reliable on that AWP. It is a lot of the game plan for Lancaster as he goes, gets aggressive. Maybe someone flashes him in. Maybe he just goes by himself and gets an opening pick. And then they play off the back of that with the man advantage, run down the clock, and then go for a late execute into the round. So it's the CT side that need to answer back ultimately and try and recover it back in their favor. And there you go, I1. A nice kill onto Wheelnius. Left on 15 HP himself, I think, from an earlier exchange. So certainly needs to be careful. Jamstain jumps the gun a little bit too early, gives some man advantage over towards the CT side. Now going to be aware of where this AWP is playing from as well. A great off angle from Savant. Finds a clean double headshot on towards Tobbs. Charlie almost going down there, actually. Enigma picks him up, and Iwan with the AWP takes down Ibrahim. So very, very well recovered from York. Lancaster, they get that early pick, but again, that team coordination just does not appear to be there. Jamstain in with a bit of a over-aggressive kind of peak that maybe he didn't really need to go for. Did hardly any damage. Tobbs as well, all by himself, you know, gets taken down by an off angle. There's no one available to trade. Lancaster just don't quite look as fluid and as flexible as they were in the earlier seasons of NUEL this year.
Yeah. They just executed B too early there, in my opinion. There was no need to just get 1 kill and then go for it. You need to wait. You need to listen to see, so you can hear what's going on, see if there's any rotates coming in. They didn't do that. They got 1 kill on B, took the aggression and decided to execute into B, even though another player had already rotated in, and they had to face 3 players on that B site. It's just, like you said, they don't seem as fluid. It's quite sort of a hectic call when there's no need to be hectic in that situation. There's plenty of time left on the clock. You've got the man advantage as well. There's no need to be as aggressive that towards B site. And now that gives York a 2-round lead as they decide to take some aggression towards A long later into the round than usual. But they are looking pretty good here on Overpass.
Now they just need to avoid the reset. That's really the ultimate goal. Because if they end up losing this round, Lancaster will certainly be in with a chance to at least even up the scoreline, if not take the lead. So it is certainly a very high-pressure situation that York find themselves in. Enigma opening up very reliably indeed on towards Iwan. The AWP here of BCG going to have to go huge. He misses the first shot and the second as Tobbs is able to find him. And immediately into a 5-on-3 as this bomb goes down. Sigma, though, I don't think his position is really going to be recognized here. Takes down Jamstain and he gets Tobbs, brings it back all even Stevens, but the pressure and the positional advantage now for the T side really coming into fruition. It's all on to Sigma, and Wheelnius was there to take him down and retrieve the AWP as well. So a nice little solo play from Sigma, but ultimately, you know, a lot of that comes down to the fact that he'd just surprised his opponents, and the rest of the team not able to chime in with kills of their own.
Yep. Now York unfortunately put into the reset position, and that could, or it should allow Lancaster to even it up. It looks like York are going to take early information possibly towards connectors, see if they can hear anything, see if they can see anything as well. And actually they're going for a crunch towards short B, but Lancaster have just completely surpassed that, and they've gone all the way around through Monster. That Molotov will actually take down BCG as well, but the smoke comes in for some reason to extinguish it. Then they takes him down, and looks like it is just going to be a slaughter, but actually it's an even situation for York and for Lancaster. There's no armor available, but if they can get a gun maybe and a lucky headshot, it could change the round here.
Ooh, Tob's in with a nice shot indeed. And Iwan will fall. So unfortunate for York, but again, very good damage done. I would imagine they're going to be buying up into this one. It would be a little bit too conservative, perhaps, to go for another save, another quasi-buy. We'll have to see here. They are going to do exactly that. Okay, so they're going to perhaps allow Lancaster to take the lead here. I suppose they really do want to get the AWPs out. Maybe they've got an idea for a double AWP setup or something like that. They're being very, very safe indeed. It's difficult. If you give Lancaster this kind of momentum, you know, and essentially allow them to keep building their economy up, it could be a very, very hard-fought end of the game if you want to take it overall. Oh, the exchange in the smoke. Iwan, unfortunately, kind of on the edge of it, gets taken down by Enigma, the better smoke criminal. On the server, it would seem. All you can see is just his feet sticking out as well. It's pretty funny. Nice shots in from Sigma as he picks up two. Enigma and Wheelnius as well, chiming in with one to their own. Jamstain, easy find onto Sigma in the end, though. And Charlie, the only one remaining here for the York side. So again, it's a nice little bit of damage done, but possibly argument to be made that they've been a little bit too conservative. Charlie, though, left on 1 HP. Tob's certainly going to be a little bit tilted at that one when he sees the after round damage done. But ultimately, okay. Can kind of respect that. Charlie, thinking on 1 HP, doesn't quite have the confidence that he's going to be able to save it, but yeah, 3 kills in the end. York doing a fair amount of damage, but will it be enough ultimately going into what could be one of their final buys for this game?
Yeah. 1 HP. He's, for some reason, not really focusing. He's just running around with his flash out. Lancaster do take him down, and they're actually very confused about where the gun is. So it's a good job by him getting that gun out of the map, but I think he probably could have saved it, to be honest. I don't think Lancaster were that interested in hunting him, considering it was a 2 versus 1. Oh well, look, Lancaster do take the lead here on the T side. As York going to a little bit of a weaker buy, considering there's no utility on NUEL. Charlie lacking a couple flashes as well, but other than that, it's not too bad for them. They've got Molotovs, they got smokes. Not many flashes, but you know, on the CT side, not as necessary, those Molotovs for sure.
Yeah, I mean, we'll have to see what kind of an effect it has ultimately. But yeah, it generally does not make too much of a negative difference. Either way, B hit going to be coming in from Lancaster here, using that utility that they've got on the edge of the smoke. Wheelnius able to pick up 2. Tob's no AWP in hand, but he doesn't need it, as he also chimes in for one of his own, and it's very quickly into a 4-on-2. And this is what I was talking about. You allow them to get that momentum, get the confidence. Due to ecoing kind of 3 rounds in a row, it's really not the best decision from York, in my opinion. It can be very. Again, this game is very, very mentally based, and when they're winning eco rounds and this close to the end of the game, they will certainly have their confidence jumping up to probably one of the highest points it's been for the past hour or so. And yes, you might be able to get out a little bit of a better buy, but as you can see, it's not quite good enough to hold it down, as the shots are just not coming in from York ultimately. Sigma does pick up a kill towards the tail end, but oh, okay, takes down Tobs as well. I was going to say surely gets traded here, but very nicely done from him to keep hold of that M4 and take a few players down as the round ends, but nonetheless, 14-12. If they want to win this game in regulation, it is going to be a rather uphill battle for York. Timeout coming on through, it would appear, as York have got 30 seconds to talk over the strategy for this coming round.
Yep. Starting to lose the pace now. 2 rounds down, and Lancaster 1 round off of map point. Sigma had a fantastic game so far for his team, 22-16. Wilness and Enigma for Lancaster. They're the ones starting to shine for them. 23-17, 22-18 respectively. York, though, the CT side's been poor from them, really. They got the first couple of rounds due to the pistol. I believe they even got the first gun round as well because they got the bomb down through the smoke. Since then, they've just had a massive plateau. Lancaster, though, they started to wake up. That CT side from them, it was slow, it was sloppy. It felt like they were just asleep the entire time. And now they're starting to rush away with it. 14-12, 2 players in connector, 2 players mid, and 1 person towards B. Looks like it's going to be some sort of aggressive default from the Lancaster Bombers side.
A little bit dangerous for York if they're not able to get this round on the board. And saying that, Charlie misbought a little bit. Don't know if you've noticed that, but not the best.
Oh, he's got no armor. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice. Is it him in the?
Bit of
No,
a-
that was Sigma in the first half who had just gotten a Glock. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
So
A
it's
little bit
the,
of a fatal mistake, perhaps.
Yeah, I'd probably just give the AWP over to him now. Possibly, you don't really want him on an M4 and no armor, but I suppose and he's the one who can make the impact with that AWP. It's unfortunate for Charlie. I believe they actually are going to swap it around. I've just seen him drop his. Oh no, he's picked up a FAMAT. Okay, all right. I guess not then.
I suppose it's better than having him on an M4 that he's probably not going to be able to put to much use. Ultimately, if he gets any kills in this round, it's going to be from a little bit more of an out position type thing rather than a straight up 1 versus 1 winning the duel. The aim punch is just going to be too much to deal with. Either way, he might not even come into things as it is going to be an A hit here. Tobbs opens up very nicely indeed. Manages to take down a second with this AK. Seems to be coming alive in recent rounds with the AK in hand. Bomb going to go down, but with hardly any utility remaining. Charlie falling. Sigma the only one to get a kill. It's pretty much all over for York here, at least in this round, and it might just be curtains for them in respect of the entire game. Things really not looking too good as Lancaster shaping up to take this one at a 16-12 scoreline, honestly.
Yeah, definitely been the better side here on the T half. BCG now, hoping that he can save this M4, possibly get the AWP. I believe it's just right. Yeah, it is. There we go. AWP right in front of him on the stairs. Should be able to save this. He does actually need to run away though, but he is being hunted currently through the bank area.
Yeah, a little bit. We'll have to see. He's making a lot of noise as well, but unfortunately, I think Tobbs has just allowed BCG to escape his grasp. So 3 rounds in a row required for York to take us to overtime. And with the economy that they've got, I think it is going to be a little bit too much to ask. They are able to get out an M4 and an AWP, but other than that, there's not too much to write home about. Fair amount of utility, to be fair, but much weaker weaponry, and as well, again, the mindset coming into things. Lancaster are going to be at an all-time high in terms of confidence. Ewan goes straight in for the dry peak. Smacks a little bit of desperation there. You know, generally you go for that peak with the smoke down just to make sure it's safe and you can get away, as it can be very easy to trade, and maybe you pick up a kill onto the stairs, but there's already a player pushed up aggressively. You know, it's very spawn based. Either way, doesn't make too much of a difference as there's no one there for him to find. And that, I suppose, I say doesn't make too much of a difference, but maybe it will as York don't get any kind of an opening pick.
Yeah. To make something work, this AWP, it needs to be consequential in the round, but they are just deciding to give up towards toilets. It looks like they are a little bit aggressive, just holding the angles where they can fall back to sight. Usually people don't expect the AWPers there, but it's a great spot to hold. You can see anyone coming out of connector as well and anyone peeking in, but he actually just uses his Molotov, forces himself back to default, watching on now bank, in fact, watching a long Sigma gets close toilets. Lancaster starting to run out of time, so they need to make a decision. They have just taken short control, and that boost has been snuffed out.
Ooh, Charlie does manage to pick up one though, and with only 30 seconds remaining, having the man disadvantage for Lancaster here could really, really make things difficult. I'm quite sure what they're doing with the body language ultimately. Enigma goes for a bit of a spray on through the smoke, trades a little bit of damage, but takes some as well. Only 15 seconds remaining. This could be another situation of dropping the bomb, you win the round. BCG goes peeking on through, though. He gets taken down. Savant, meanwhile, is there at the side to pick up 2. Iwan with the AWP gets 2 of his own, and they have bought York a little bit of a lifeline by taking that round. 15-13 now, and the economy of the Lancaster side, if they don't win this one, if they don't close it out in the next round, really, really could come back to haunt them going into round number 30 if we get there. But we'll have to see. I don't know, a little bit questionable from Lancaster, honestly.
Yeah. Starting to slow down now, it seems. But unless they pick it up in this round, possibly could be going to overtime though.
Oh, Savant and Iwan, there you go, opening up. Charlie, BCG, all chime in, and only one comes back for Jamstain. Desperation setting in for Lancaster here. They certainly had the opportunity to close it out, but really just not thinking the plays through. Go for another B rush, and it all falls apart. They will be able to get a couple of AKs out here, but 3 players going to be on the armor and upgraded pistols. Now it looks like York are in prime position to, I wouldn't say take the game, but at least take us to overtime. Certainly going to be an uphill battle for these 2 teams going into overtime as well.
Is a pretty poor buy from Lancaster. Starting to lose steam a little bit. I think they lost their heads in that last round. There's no real need to go for the fast play. It's so hard on a map like Overpass where they're all choke point entries into the site. The Molotovs are just going to burn you down, really. There's only 2 AKs out for them now as well. The AWP on Ewan. Maybe walking straight into him if they're not careful. They don't use their utility properly. What we saw from York in their T-half was a good use of executes, making sure they're able to isolate the sites.
Oh, on the edge of this smoke. Does he spot out the player? He does, but he misses the shot, Iwan. Again, those early opportunities not being capitalized on by both sides, really. But we shall have to see how much of an effect it will have. There's a lot of control gained over towards short. Tobbs is in a great position here. If someone tries to get a bit over aggressive or maybe leaves themselves open slightly to the bathroom so you could just peek out and find it. But it will all depend on that timing. There's 3 players directly on the A site here. Again, running down the clock. Very little utility for Lancaster to make their way in towards this site. So with only 30 seconds remaining, it seems they are going to make their move on through. From the long position, Wilnius does take down 1. Tobbs as well picks up another, and it seems to be all falling apart for York. They'd started to rotate back towards B, it would seem. Molotov's coming on through, and now the rotation's going to have to pick up all the kills here, and I just don't think that they can really do it, to be honest. The bomb ticking so far along. Tobbs gets another. BCG manages to trade 1 back, but on 4 HP, you don't really give him too much of a chance. He finds a second. There's still 3 more to find. There's still not a lot of time on the bomb. His position going to be known. Only 4 bullets available, and they don't really want to go for it. Enigma, however, finds him in the end, and a 16-14 game from Lancaster. So they take us the whole way, but they do manage to clean it up and take it in the end. If it did even take them about an hour and a half, to be fair, on that one. A very long game indeed. Unfortunate for You're Kidding Me, but certainly looking good for them going into the future of the Summer Championship.
Yeah, I mean, that was consequential for them. Make sure they get that win. They should be beating teams like this. They're one of the best teams we have here, especially in the summer season of Nope. We'll have to follow their progress throughout, and that's a great map from them. Unfortunately for York, as they were the better team on that CT half, or the T half, their T half, I should say. And it's commiserates for them here on Overpass.
Indeed, a little bit of a shame, but like I say, it looks good for them going into the future. Just a few kinks they need to work out. If they hadn't lost so many force buys, so many eco rounds from the Lancaster side on both sides, you know, on both the CT and the T halves, then maybe they could have been able to take it a hell of a lot quicker or easier, I suppose, on the York side. You know, it just really didn't work out for them in the end. And that inconsistency of their economy because of the loss of the eco and force buy rounds really did play a huge part into that. But anyway, we are going to be thrown over to a quick little break here, as a very long game indeed. I'm going to need to go and get a drink. I don't know about you, maybe a little bit of fresh air as well. It's very hot at the moment in the UK, as I'm sure we're all aware. But for now, we will just take a quick little pause while we get our next game set up. Do be sure to stick around. Make sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. And maybe if you've got a Prime sub or something like that available, we would muchly appreciate the support. But for now, thank you very much for joining us, guys. We will see you after this short little break.
Your time is Wondering choice, does he even know me? Ooh, I'm never sure when he'll be home. Get into trouble on my own, I don't get lonely. Ooh, he wants the suburbs where school's out for summer. Yeah, we live by his mother. I keep my drugs in the cupboard 'cause I'm only sweet when I'm high. 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 Take a look in my life, staring at those deep blue eyes. Now I'm ashamed you've played the game. Missteps, mistakes, they're all the same. I don't know where to go from here. I really wonder how it feels if I listen to the voice inside. If I free my mind, let the stars come out. If I fire through the night, turning darkness into light, stars up in space, nothing's the same. Now watch me burn your love to ashes. Now watch me burn your love to You thought you had all control, that I would never let you go. But I knew the lines, saw through your lies. Revenge is all so sweet sometimes. You don't know where to go from here. You never wondered how it feels when I listen to the voice inside. If I free my mind, let the stars come out. If I fire through the night, turning darkness into light, stars up in space, nothing's the same. Now watch me burn your love to ashes. Now watch me burn your love to ashes. mysterious pain. Can't you hear me? Am I fading away? Scared to breathe me, runs the memory away. Can't you see me? Like that mysterious pain. Can't you hear me? Like that mysterious pain. Can't you hear me? Am I fading away? Scared to breathe me, runs the memory away. Can't you see me? Like that mysterious pain. Can't you hear me? Like that mysterious pain. Patience is growing and growing, and our frustration is showing and showing. But yeah, we keep going and going. But it's family forever. We've done it over and over. Will we ever reach the end? How do we get through the night? Do we have to fight? Wake ourselves to start the winning night. Maybe we can redefine what it means to get in time. Now we
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are getting straight into the knife round here of our second game. A few delays in between. Apologies for that. They had to get the server swapped around. Apparently, the SV was very, very high indeed. But a little bit of a great matchup here, to be honest. The Warwick Stretchy Boys up against Lancaster. Obviously, the knife round, Zeus round, as it's now become, I suppose, is getting underway. But on to Mirage here. Going to be an interesting map, I think, as Warwick end up winning that knife round.
Yep, Mirage though. Again, the knife round not important in any map really, but you always want to get that favoured side. And the favoured side from Mirage is usually the CT side. Not many maps you really see that are favoured for the T side. A map like Cash, you could say, is. I suppose Mirage, not too bad, not too CT side. It depends obviously on the teams, as per usual. We are just waiting for the side choice, I believe, from Warwick now.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused though. I've just been sent a new IP by one of our admins, so I think obviously our GoTV is lagging behind a little bit here. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is. It seems we're still having server issues here on this one, so a little bit difficult. We'll have to see what happens if the kind of map closes down as they're swapping over or whatever. Then obviously we will have to swap across. It is a little bit of a pain, kind of the communication and obviously the, like I say, that kind of lag time on the GoTV. I'm a bit confused, to say the least, Stream. I'm not quite sure what the deal is, whether we're staying on this one or moving across or not. It looks like, obviously, I don't think the chat's up on the stream, but there is a new IP being thrown in and now everyone's leaving. Yeah. So I think we're going to just go to a quick break and get all that sorted for a second. Hopefully should be back in very, very shortly. Apologies about this, guys, but there's not much we can really do on our end. But shouldn't be too long, nonetheless. See you soon. Hello. XD. Oh, that's all right.
Now,
Okay, cool. All right. I think we are back and live. Straight into things. Getting straight into the pistol here. No replay of the knife round or anything like that. T-side getting ripped apart here by these USPs. Fades and Mason picking up 4 kills between them, and now only Tobbs remaining on 10 HP. So a very, very anticlimactic pistol there, considering we've been waiting so long for it to come about. Warwick straight on the board with a very decisive pistol indeed.
yeah, there's already server complaints as well, though, so I'm not sure how long this server is going to last. We'll have to just wait to see what happens. It looks like for now that we are going to continue on. The pause come in a little bit too late, but the buy has come out. Lancaster did not get the bomb down, so they would go for the forced buy into this round. So they are just going to go for some sort of a play here.
Yeah, that is ultimately the goal in these kind of rounds. They might just be able to do so as well. No smoke for the CT area, which is where Nigel is playing from. One of the best in-game aliases I think I've seen for a long time, have to be honest. But nonetheless, they're going to be making their way over towards A, camping in the ramp, waiting for someone to get aggressive, it would seem, but it is a little bit more difficult to predict, and no one is really going to be throwing away opportunities on the Warwick side of things. It's classic Lancaster, they're just running the clock down ultimately. And we shall have to see what they opt to go for. Flash comes on out, a little bit of aggression coming in, but it seems to be the CT's coming out on top of things. Gibby in the thick of it does eventually get taken down, but has bought time for his teammates to rotate in and, of course, make sure that the bomb plant is denied. All onto Enigma. He does have armor on that MP9, so he manages to find MFX, but ultimately shut down as there's just too many players to find. I believe this is a technical pause as well to try and make sure that everything is sorted with the server. They seem to be saying it's fine. Tobbs has just chimed in and said, honestly, I think we should just play because it's getting a little bit late, obviously, and sort of taking the Michael is the nice way of putting it. But either way, in the context of the game, Warwick doing really well, really decisive pistol, really clean anti-force buy, and they are starting to accumulate a fair amount of cash. They've got 5 rifles out very early on indeed. They're just looking to shut down this next round up against 3 Glocks and 2 P250s. Enigma, after earning a little bit of money from the MP9, is able to get himself armor as well. But again, just going to try and go for the bomb plant here. Double spray down for Nigel. Gibby gets one on the flank. And MFX in from Connector manages to take down another. So, yeah, that round was over in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, that was pretty easy round for Warwick. They didn't really have to put any sort of effort into that. Managed to pick up. Tobbs has decided to get the AWP out early with no utility, but the rest of the team seems to make up with that utility. No Molotovs available for them though, so no clearing spot, especially like the under balcony Mirage. And I was going to say that's perfect from Tobbs, but unfortunately only gets the leg, and that forces that player into underpass to stick there with low HP as well.
Oh, Nade would have finished him off, but it's Jamstain to find the kill on through the smoke, it would appear. So playing from a deficit very early on here. We did see this in the previous game. Lancaster, obviously, it took them the full 30 rounds to close it out, but they were very, very weak on the pistols, to be honest. But once the rifles came out, and especially in their force buy strategies, they seem to have some pretty great calls being made. And we shall have to see if that is the case here. Not to worry at the moment for Lancaster, although there is only a minute remaining, so they will soon want to capitalize on this one advantage that they've got. Enigma, a little bit of a mistake there in towards middle as he falls rather than walking on through to the boost. So Gibby going to be a little bit aware of the fact that the boost is going to come in here.
Wow. That is so odd there from Tobbs. There's no need to walk up short there with no information towards window as well. And there, Fade takes another one. Gibby, he picks up 3 for the round. That's 4 now as Fade comes in. That's 2 kills each for the mid and short player. And the round is just falling apart for Lancaster. Even takes one back. The CT player will take him down eventually, but that's a great round from Warwick to recover. And again, Lancaster Bombers lose the first pistol and then the first gun round.
Yeah, a little bit of a shame from Lancaster. Maybe it takes them some time to get into the groove. They got that early man advantage and just could not really capitalize on it. You know, taking things a little bit too slow, some might argue there, despite the fact that they were a man up, you know, and just allowing Warwick to readjust and figure out how to play from a man down. Now to answer back, they're going to be going for a straight up B rush. Molotov is a little bit too deep. They've already made their way in, and Mason falls. Going to be onto Fades to hold down this B bomb site, at least for now. He's able to pick up 2. Rotation from MFX, meanwhile, is pretty massive as he gets 1, misses the shot onto Wilnius, but nonetheless, 3 on 2. There is an AK recovered for Tobbs. A lot of this going to be predicated off the back of him. No one watching for the push, though. Wilnius gets in behind. He manages to pick up 1. Another missed shot from MFX, but does finish him off with the pistol. Certainly makes the job easier for Tobbs. However, as he sprays down MFX onto low-ish HP, Gibby as well, he's aware of his position, not quite able to connect it. Grenade comes in and does do a lot of damage. Hold going to be onto this bomb now. He's going to have to go for the pre-fire. Gibby stands up and gets the defuse. Tobbs takes him down. But holy moly, that was so very close. You can just kind of see on the model, some of the people watching might not be aware of the fact that once the defuse is about to finish, he stands up a little bit as to get off the bomb being defused. And when I saw that, holy moly, it was so very close, stream. A little bit heartbreaking for Lancaster.
Yeah, that was a great round from them. A bit messy from the AWPer there in Market. Wasn't able to hit his shots. And is he going to fire? I can't tell what he's doing. He's just sort of hiding in the smoke. Does decide to take a shot, and Gibby just pushes out and connects with it. But yeah, that was messy there from Warwick. They shouldn't have allowed that to happen. Low HP CZ player pushes into Market, gets 1, nearly gets the second as well. But still, good damage done, and now they get the bomb down, lots of utility, and an AWP again out for Tobbs.
That's certainly what we like to see as well. In the hands of this man, certainly has that very flashy style we were talking about earlier. Similar to Smuya, although not quite as good. Will certainly be interesting to see what he's got to offer here. Ibrahim manages to find the first over towards that A site. Pretty much cleans it up as well, to be honest, as the CTs were holding a little bit passively and had to rotate back in. So it's going to be a 5-on-3 retake. Certainly easier said than done. I think Lancaster might just be in with their first round here. Fades almost melting to the Molotov. And as you can see by the body language here, it looks like the CTs just want to try and go for the save. Wilnius manages to take down MFX. But the AWP, rather, of Mason still going to be up for Warwick. And they do need to be careful here on the side of Lancaster, definitely. Things aren't looking too great for Lancaster, you know, in the past, but they have managed to get one on the board here. And I think as well, it's going to be difficult. Warwick have been very good at bouncing back and winning rounds, you know, when you kind of have them ruled out. I think ultimately it was just a rotational call there that ended up costing them that round in the end.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think Warwick now just need to let that go unfazed and just try and reset the economy of Lancaster here. They did get at least 1 kill. Not really good enough in those types of rounds. You really need to be trying to keep the economy low when they're trying to start to get a roll. Lancaster now, they've decided to go for 5 men towards A, which is going to be a telltale sign for Warwick that it may just be a straight up sight hit, as there is no mid presence, which Lancaster usually show. There's actually 3 players on A as well, realizing that there's no mid presence. This is exactly what I was talking about. They're going to be able to tell there's nothing going on in the mid. It's just going to be a straight up sight execute. The rotates will probably come in from B as well quite quickly. And Gibby, he gives away his position there with that. Can get Molly down, and Enigma just comes out on the site, takes 1 down as well. But Gibby able to find 1. He's going to find 2 of the MP9. That's good enough, surely, for the retake. And MFX misses another shot on the AWP.
Oh, this is such a blunder from the CT side to allow this to happen. MFX creeps out a little bit too much, not realizing his shoulder was showing, and he will get taken down, pretty much solidifying the round there. Bomb going to go down as well as Mason no opportunity for him to deny that at all, as it's a very safe plant from the Lancaster side, and now he's going to have to try and go for it. He does have full utility. Could certainly take down Enigma, who is into a very predictable position at the firebox. But Mason decides against it, and he's just going to save the AWP up there, so there's nothing really coming early on. And the second round on the board for Lancaster.
Yep, starting to come back into it now. Such a mistake from Warrior, well, specifically MFX. If he's able to just get one kill with the AWP in full back, that would have allowed Mason to rotate in that. Unfortunately, they were forced to take 5 to try and make up for the lack of kills from FX. He's not been fantastic on the AWP so far. He is 5 and 5, but most of those kills, I believe, were before the AWP came out. So now Lancaster will be going against an Eco possibly, which should ensure the 3rd round here on the T side for Lancaster. AWP is out though, and you never know if that AWP could make such a difference in the round. Just even one kill of that allows your teammate to pick up a gun, take it further into the round as well. But it looks like it's just going to be straight up A stack as Lancaster decide to go straight out mid.
Something that we've seen time and time again is those early AWPs. Or early aggression from the AWPs, rather, in these kind of CT save rounds where the AWP's the only thing available. Enigma seems to be a little bit savvy to the fact that he is on top of the toll booth. It's a very common position for the AWP to be playing. Smoke is absolutely terrible, but timing, I don't think, going to work out for Mason. He doesn't spot Jamstain creeping past the smoke there. So nothing going to be coming early on in this round for the CT side, unfortunately. I think a dink landed onto Ibrahim, possibly even through the smoke there. As these USPs can be difficult sometimes. There you go. Nigel manages to take down Ibrahim. I think he will get traded back here by Jamstain, you would expect, but a bait play ultimately for MFX in towards window, lands the dink, but not able to get the kill in the end. However, Nigel is there with the reposition to find it. But meanwhile, bomb goes down on B, and Tobbs takes down Mason, that player with the AWP, who also had full utility and a kit. So really good pickup from him and pretty much secures the round for Lancaster.
Yep. Oh, but still damage being done now. That's 3 players fallen. Looks like more as well. And there we go. 4 kills in the round for Warwick. It's really going to affect the economy of Lancaster Bombers. They're in a pretty good spot right now, but people like Jamstain really need to try and stay alive in these rounds. Still 13k onto Tobbs, 10k onto the Wilderness and Enigma players. Low economy for a couple of them, but still not too bad a spot if they were to win this round as well. It's going to catapult them, allow that economy to stay in such a strong place as Warwick still a pretty poor economy.
Not ideal right now for Warwick. He got that early lead off the back of the pistol. Could have been a different story if Lancaster had taken that. But we shall have to see how it develops. Solo flash straight in, takes down Nigel. Flash returned by the CT side, but Gibby not given an opportunity to pick up anyone, really. So unfortunate, as he did blind up 3 players. Fades has managed to take down Enigma, who I believe was over towards middle, and Mason takes down Ibrahim. They were shaping up to save, but given that opportunity there, they might just get back into this one. Timing, though, for Tobbs works out, and timing again for Tobbs. Absolutely huge 2k coming in from him at the end. He gets his hand onto the AWP. Mason is there for the 3rd as well. A great little finish to that round from Tobbs as he picks up 3 and secures the AWP into the next round.
Yep. Warwick, though, starting to lose their momentum completely. It will soon be 5 rounds in a row for Lancaster. And once they start to wake up, they really do wake up. There's now the pistols coming out from Warwick. Possibly another round on the board for Lancaster. Should be expected, but you never know with these pistols. They do decide to take 3-man mid-controllers. They have quite a lot. Nigel's pushed into Palace as well. I don't think he's actually been spotted, but he's... Oh, whoever he has actually spotted him there, though. It comes down to the fight in Palace now.
Ooh. Ooh. Back and forth. Gibby trying to capitalize while they are distracted in Palace, but unfortunately it doesn't work out. Nigel, though, takes down Ibrahim. Fades here with a bit of an off angle. Perfectly finds Wheelnius. As this round is shaping up to be difficult for Lancaster. AK recovered by Nigel now. Fades given the opportunity to fall back here as well. MFX picks up Enigma, and they have traded him back, but I don't think it is looking too good here as there's a lot of control right now, and Jamstain all by himself out on this A site does manage to get away. But it costs him a fair chunk of his HP. The bomb going to be making its way over towards A, but ultimately, Warwick are in control of this round. 2 AKs now available for them. Jamstain really wants to try and catch someone off guard here. He's holding his crosshair a wee bit high there, but nonetheless, he's going to fall. Not really given much of an opportunity. Tobbs picks up one, but not ready for the player in dark as Nigel secures it. A 6th round on the board for Warwick. And a round that you did not expect them to take. The anti-force buy play from Lancaster just not working out in the end.
Yeah, really unfortunate for them. This was just too good. Losing that fight in Palace and the 1D from Fade. No trade came out from the second connected player as well. And it just allowed them to go in as Warwick starting to possibly pick it up now. It's only 1 round though, but they should be able to get back into it off that. Unless Lancaster can do anything about it. There will be a reset potential available for them as well, which will look mighty fine for Lancaster. Still on 4 rounds for them.
Very slow start from both teams. Top mid control for the T side, although not really all that difficult to acquire, to be honest. If you know that one smoke, you know. I think we all know what that is, to be fair. And then a bit of a window smoke as well, for which there are many different lineups. Either way, they have scared off their CT counterparts, but Gibby is going to be watching connector, Fade's watching short. So there is still work to do for Lancaster if they want to make their way in here. It looks like they're going for an A split as well, judging by the fact that they've got Wilnius and Enigma in ramp and Palace respectively. But here we go, the hit going to be coming in. Ibrahim leading the way, Gibby in a bit of an off angle, playing off of MFX, but gets taken down. Enigma takes Nigel, and Enigma also gets MFX. Bit of a shame, though we missed that double spray down there, but a 4-on-2 very quickly indeed, secured by Lancaster here. And the Warwick Stretchy Boys, yet again, find themselves locked out of the A site.
Yep, seems to be a regular occurrence now. Not doing too well. The T side from Lancaster seems to be just too good at the moment. Started off poorly, but now they're able to reset the Warwick Stretchy Boys, who only survived with 2 in the previous round as well. Let's not forget that. That's not going to hurt them quite a bit. Still, if they can save these 2 guns, Fades can drop 1 over. FX, I should say, will drop 1 over as well. So it won't actually be an awful buy if they do decide to go to it in the next round, if they are able to save these 2 weapon sizes.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I think they are trying to go for the hunt on the Lancaster side, but not quite dedicating to it, if that makes sense. A little bit of a half run away from the bomb, half hunt down the rifles. So they do manage to save them. Pretty much no trouble at all for Warwick there in order to do so. And like you say, they will be able to get out a buy here, and a relatively decent one as well. Lancaster needs to be aware of this, need to be savvy of this. You would hope that they are, and not just unaware. Seem to be going for a heavy B play, not quite a rush, but definitely putting a lot of players over there at the start of the round.
Yeah, it looks like it is just going to be some sort of execute towards B. Lancaster seems to do this quite a lot, where they just put a lot of players over towards one site and hope that the Warwick Stretchy Boys aren't taking information against them. Which luckily, right now, there is no such information. There was 3 players on B, but it seems that player's rotated off now. At the awkward time is it looks like the edge are going to come out. And Molotov not necessary really from Mason as well, as Lancaster decide to go for the BXQ.
They Molotov off the famous crossfire spot. A little bit of a weird angle to be taking from Mason here. Thankfully, Fades picks up 2, but he does need to be careful over on the other side. Gets 1, but Tobbs, of course, in with the AWP bomb. Should be going down here, but he's the only one left now. The 1-on-3 ace clutch required from him as he's watching the door. Trigger discipline of a god. Takes down MFX. Spots out the player in towards apartments. Andy spots the one that's now on towards the site. Nigel trying to play it aggressively. The quick scope misses though, and Nigel will take him down. The defuse comes in, and Warwick saved that round away as Tobbs was in a pretty good position there, to be fair, if it had picked up Nigel. But I feel like Gibby, maybe even on the flank, would have been able to trade him. Nonetheless, Warwick in with a good clutch. Lancaster, the B hit, not quite working out for them.
Yep. Warwick now maybe trying to cement their lead here. Still possibility of a 10-5 half, which is not bad at all. 9-6 as well. Could be on course. Depends if they win the next couple of rounds, obviously. Unfortunately for them, they are again in a reset position. Again, surviving with only 2 in the previous round. Looks like it is going to be a fast A hit. Oh, Nigel does manage to get one. MFX gets the other as well. It means it is a man advantage. Gibby doesn't need to get aggressive on stairs there, but decides to anyways. And now the rotates do come in. Warwick Stretchy Boys and Lancaster Bombers in the 3 versus 3 with A site control completely in the hands of Lancaster.
Yet again, that A site seems to be very large chink in the armor. Flash goes on through, doesn't actually blind anyone up, but Jamstain gets himself a 3rd for the round. Does manage to get away as well. Mason, nade goes in, Molotov to follow. There are some low HP players that Molotov actually takes down Jamstain so very quickly as Ibrahim, the only one remaining now. Molotov on towards him is actually burning him on through. He thought he was hidden away from it there. They're certainly going to hear him. The defuse coming on in, but MFX through the smoke will find him. He wasn't even lined up, to be fair, but nonetheless securing the round and making sure it's 100% secured. The Warwick Stretchy Boys get an 8th on the board.
Yeah, that was perfect utility in that retake. This is exactly how you should use it when you've got 2 Molotovs and 1 smoke available. The Molotov goes into default. They know that player's there. They saw that they'd come for it. I believe they realized the other nade must have come for Palace as well. 2 Molotovs into there. And another round for Warwick Stretchy Boys. They are 8 and 5 up on the CT side of Mirage. MFX seems to start picking it up now.
This is kind of the maximum amount of rounds they want to be giving away on the CT side of things. Lancaster, I would say, covered them a lot in the last season. I would say their CT side's definitely better than their T sides, but nonetheless, they'll feel a little bit robbed in a few of these rounds. So they definitely could have had a few more on the board by now. Spray on through the smoke. Does land a lot of damage there, fades onto Tobbs and Jamstain as well. So nice early damage, but no early picks coming on in yet. For the first time in a long time, we've had a little bit of a slower round from both sides, it would appear, Dream.
Yeah, you're exactly right. But you look at the T-spawn push now coming in. That means there has to be no one. They don't have to have anyone in A for Warwick. They've rotated pretty much everyone on to B. 1 player in window, 1 player flanking now. Nigel just waiting for some sort of window boost. I believe he heard Tobbs there as well. So in fact, it's going to be 2 players into window now. Not quite sure what their plan is just yet. Possibly some sort of A split between window and connector. Nigel does spot out Tobbs, but will he realize there's going to be a second player there? He doesn't, unfortunately. Enigma takes him down now, and there we go. That will be actually a free A site for Lancaster. The majority of the players are on B due to the player rotating in through T-spawn who went towards B.
Oh, this position in short could be huge. Mason got to be careful not to get too over aggressive here. Fade spots out one on the site. Mason takes down Jamstain. Cross from the short position. Only 10 seconds remaining here again. Lancaster mistakes with the bomb. Oh, Ibrahim just saving his teammate there. Takes down Mason, but so much damage being done. Yes, the bomb has gone down. It's into a 2-on-1 now for Ibrahim. I don't think it's really going to be doable here. He's on very low HP, and I think that information will come on through. Doesn't even matter, as MFX is the one to find him. Defuse, easy peasy as Warwick get a 9th on the board. Their retakes are looking so much better as we get into the final round of the half.
Yeah, that was really what was hurting them. They weren't able to get the proper retakes into B, but the best thing that Warwick have done is stopped giving away kills on that A site. That's been the problems when they're coming in for the retake. They're always at a disadvantage. The situations when they're even, they've completely just gone out and won them. Now, we wait and see what Warwick can do in this final round. It will be a weak buy from Lancaster. I do expect it to go 10-5, but you never know. I believe the patent B rush is coming out. Rush B. Oh, there we go. The Molotov's coming in as well. Going to be hella damage done as well. Buffet takes down 3 players with the spray down. As MP7 and AK, the only remaining weapons available now. As Ibrahim gets taken down. Enigma, 28 HP, and the nade will finish him off 10-5.
Yeah, a very, very quick round there at the end. Very decisive indeed. It seems Lancaster sometimes do get a little bit desperate. They just want to go for the B rush, you know, and I don't know. It's difficult. Sometimes they look like they are absolutely on fire when everything is falling into place like they did for those kind of 4 rounds, particularly in the middle of that first half. You know, it did take them a little bit of time to get going, but they managed to string a fair few together. They got the reset in, to be fair, but then got reset themselves, and they just sort of fell apart from there on in. We'll see, though. Like I mentioned earlier, their CT sides have been a little bit stronger in the past than their T sides, and 5 rounds, nothing to be sniffed at on the T side of Mirage, certainly. Either way, Execute coming on through here from the T side this time around. Over towards stairs, over towards jungle, going to isolate Ibrahim all by himself. There is a bit of a gap in it, though. Tobbs, beautiful shots coming on in through this gap here, as he finds, too, a lot of damage being done onto a fair few of these players on the T side as well, and it's now into a 4-on-2. The raid boss of Fades with the P250, and Chest Armor is the only one remaining on 8 HP. They do manage to get the bomb down, but I don't think there is much of a chance here, as Fades looks like he's just going to run away and save his P250 into the next round.
He's got the armor with it as well. It's not a bad situation with him. He's going to get the bonus money anyway. Just decides to run away, take the armor with him. Extra P250 he doesn't have to buy. I agree with that. And I believe that's the first pistol for Lancaster today out of the possible 4.
Yeah, I think so. They've not been too strong on their pistols in the past, for sure. So definitely do need to be careful on the Warwick side of things, because it could be a little bit scary for them going forwards if Lancaster are able to secure the pistol, the first gun round, even up the scoreline, really get their economy rolling. But, although I say even up the scoreline, it won't be, will it? Because it's an early buy up from Lancaster, so from Warwick rather. So we'll have to see. Anyway, as I talk over the round, it's a relatively easy cleanup. A little bit of damage done onto Enigma, but ultimately all 5 players survive. And like I say, they get a bit more money going forwards here. Up against the AKs, though, with 2 FAMASs could certainly be a detrimental factor.
Yeah, the FAMASs, you know, not exactly a bad weapon. Definitely better than Galil, in my opinion. Anyway, the spray is easy to manage, but still not as good as those AKs. The headshot percentage, or the headshot potential, I should say, is not a one-tap like the AK, but neither is the M4. Damage not as good as the AK or the M4 as well, but we have to wait and see if they're able to do it in this round. It looks like it is going to be a straight-up execute. Limited utility for Warwick, so they did just go to this. Not going to get destroyed by the gap in the smoke this time. I believe it's actually Enigma just sprays through. That's a bad flash. Everhim gets taken down. That CT control, and Nigel will actually get taken down through the smoke there as well.
They've really found something. They must have worked on that on the Mirage side of things, to be fair, from Lancaster. That gap in the smoke in between stairs and jungle. Either way, Nigel here, 1-on-4, has actually managed to find 2. As I had written him off, he gets a 3rd onto Tobbs and 15 HP, but cannot find it onto Wilnius. He hits all the hard shots. But as soon as there's a simple one coming in from CT, he knew the position, he knew he was low. Still, he ends up falling. Lancaster is saved by Wilnius in the end, as MFX in with a great attempt, but unfortunate as Lancaster get an 8th round on the board.
Well, that was way too close for my liking. I feel bad for him, but that should have been the kill he found. It was just unfortunate he wasn't able to. Still, a lot of damage done there to Lancaster. Shouldn't have been allowed in that situation. Don't ever push someone just one by one like that, especially in a clutch situation. You want to go as together. You want to go as a team. Wait for that CT player to rotate in. And now Warwick still starting to lose rounds on course here. But what a shot with the Teagle there from Nigel with the 1D. As it looks like it is going to be a walk through B, but Wilnius again comes in with the spray. 3 players for him. Tobbs will finish that B site rush in. And there we go. Nigel, the last one alive.
Yeah, I don't expect too much from him either. The nade goes on down as Tobbs was kind of aware that he had tagged up his opponent there. 9th round for Lancaster. Very, very nice spray down indeed from Wilnius. Certainly feeling it, it would seem. One of the newer additions, perhaps a first year for Lancaster, and, you know, would be a welcome addition, it would seem. Certainly pulling his weight. Jamstain lagging behind a little bit. Ibrahim as well, slightly. Not too much, to be fair, but ultimately, good results all round. As Wilnius showing a little bit of flair, a little bit of spark. Sure, it's a bit of an eco round, so it's difficult to tell. Either way, Tobbs in towards middle, gets 2 kills here. The flash coming in from the teammate as well really did help him out. Molotov going to push MFX out of position. Missed shot from Tobbs, but Enigma, thankfully for him, is around to make sure the kill is picked up, and a 4-on-2 very quickly indeed. MFX did trade one before he fell, but the CT side again off to a very dominant start, and they have a very strong man advantage.
Yep, Lancaster been great at finding these early picks on the CT side. Now, Mason here on the A side, hoping to find something, but I'm not sure he does realise now that there's a player underpass, and Ibrahim just swings, takes him down. Surely a 10th round on the board now. Nigel, though, in the clutch situation. Enigma in a pretty awkward off angle as well.
Oh, timing. Not really working out, unfortunately, for Nigel. As Enigma, I think, went for a bit of a peek there, but he was hidden and looking the wrong way, Nigel. So only prolonged his life a little bit, though. Lancaster get to all even Stevens. 10-10. Looking really, really strong on the CT side as well. Yet to drop a round. So it will be another quasi-buy from the Warwick stretchy boys. But Lancaster, prolific CT side team, it has to be said. If you cannot shut them down on your own CT side, on that weaker T side, then it can be very difficult for you once you get into the second half. Tobbs picks up 2, does go down to the Deagle of Fades, and Nigel as well chimes in with 1. Gonna get another bomb, and the rest of his teammates have been dropped. But a 2 versus 1 nonetheless. If he can get his hands onto that AWP, which is waiting for him in connector, there is definitely a chance for him to pick up a few more here. Wilnius really needs to be careful. If he doesn't pick up this kill, it could be all over, but he loves that angle. I've seen him hold it a couple of times, and he manages to take down Nigel. But nonetheless, again, Dream, a very, very hard-fought round from Lancaster, and their anti-force buy rather, situations just not quite strong enough for me, it has to be said. It was something that made a huge difference in their previous game against York, but it was themselves that came out on top of it thanks to York being so weak. But we're seeing a little bit here how Lancaster really do need to iron out some kinks.
Yeah, I mean, these two lineups have history together as well. You got to remember they were both at the NUEL live final, but here we go, kills coming out as Wilness gets the first kill. Mason finding a double spray down though. Tobbs to the 8. Oh, WB's been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately gets taken down by MFX. 3 versus 2 Lancaster Bombers on the retake now.
Well. A very quick start to the round yet again, as Lancaster on the weaker side. One thing in the past that was very good from them was that Mirage B hole, but not really coming into fruition here, at least in this round. Again, those changes may be playing a factor. Flash goes on in, blinds up no one apart from Enigma. 3 players to find, it's planted for short. 2 players over towards short, as Enigma going to go creeping on in, distracted by the player in apartments who has now spotted him out. Tries to take down one in short. The smoke defuse coming in, but fades, and a little bit of Nigel. Or actually, no. Fades and a little bit of MFX. Nigel did nothing there, but nonetheless, Warwick stop the ninja defuse. They get an 11th round on the board and finally put a stop to the Lancaster tear that has been going on for the past 6 rounds, or now 7, but obviously 6 in the past. As Warwick, they only needed to get that one, and they've suddenly gotten themselves back into the game with an even 11-11 scoreline.
Yep. Come down now to these couple of rounds. Whose economy is going to break? Looks like it possibly could be Lancaster if they lose this. That's not what you want to see. Tobbs towards window. The smoke's just faded. Is he going to go for a peek out? He does. He takes down Fades. Well, he's been absolutely fantastic at finding those first picks of that AWP. And that gives Lancaster the advantage here in this round. Such a crucial round for them as well. If they lose this, could give Warwick up to 13, maybe even 14 rounds based on the problems in the economy.
Flashing towards apartments. There's no one there to be on the receiving end of it, but Nigel and MFX given an idea that Wilnius is up close and personal. I think Jamstain is stood down there with a flash available, perhaps. Not quite sure, but Wilnius does not need it nonetheless. Ibrahim as well has picked up another. Enigma gets another for the Lancaster side. I'm not quite sure. Tobbs must have gotten an early pick. I didn't see it on the kill feed, to be honest with you. Either way, MFX the only one remaining here for the Warwick side. Picks up one, but Jamstain is there with a great little angle. Well, to trade it back.
I'm so upset because I said at the start of the round that he's been fantastic at finding those first picks after he found the first pick. Can't believe you're ignoring me. I guess I'm not that consequential to your script. I say it, no, I say it.
I don't know what happened. I think I was concentrating on something else. Clearly, I don't know. It just
Yeah.
completely.
But like I
passed over
said,
my,
Tubbs has been absolutely fantastic with this AWP
Yeah.
so far. He's just been finding those. He's so good at finding the first pick. Some of us don't even see them, and that's nearly a
Ooh.
collapse there mid as well. He's going to peek out, try and take another one, but that's an easy kill for Enigma to pick up. It's been fantastic from Lancaster. He finds another first pick with the AWP. It seems like it's been like the 5th round he's done that, maybe even more on the CT side.
Yeah, one of the best players that we have here in the NUEL, to be honest, on an individual level. He does, I think, a little bit from a mental position. Maybe sometimes he checks out a little bit too easily. You know, if it's not going his way, he won't put his heart and soul into trying to pull it on back. But 9 times out of 10, not really required of Lancaster, as they do get some very strong leads. But as we've mentioned previously, and I'm sure a lot of people in the chat are aware, this is certainly a rivalry for the ages over the past year or so, not only in the NUEL, but also many other offline events within the university scene. King of the North and Fragsock pop into my mind. I believe there's one that happened in Swansea as well, although I'm not entirely sure of what the nomenclature is for that, I have to be honest. Either way, 3-on-3 as the flash goes in for Ibrahim, but I think he blinds himself up there and stood in the Molotov here. Such an awkward position to be in. MFX takes him down. Tobbs, a rare miss shot from him, gets blinded up and also caught out cocking that orb back up. It's all going to be onto Jamstain, but he cannot get it done. Warwick answer back with another round, and as we get into the latter stages of this game dream, it's been so back and forth between these two teams. Lancaster looked like they were going to be edging ahead and, you know, really, really dominant early on in the CT half, but it's just not stayed that way.
Yeah. I mean, Lancaster, their economy's been ruined now. They're taking so much damage in the rounds that they have won, and that's a reset as well for them. So, Warwick got a good chance to get a 13th round on the board. Getting so close. The rematch is all that we expected. And now the spray comes in, but Gibby unfortunately goes down, and for some reason, FaZe peeks into that as well. There's no need to try and trade it. You just need to fall off. You've got a better place to go. You can go A or B in that situation. The bomb is stuck, actually, in the middle of mid now, and that's 2 weapons available. That's such a mistake there from the Warwick Stretchy boys. But, well,
Ooh,
that ended
great
quick.
spray coming in towards the end then. It certainly did. Holy moly. Look
Did
away for a
much
second
quicker.
and you'll miss it.
Exactly, ended quicker than it started, really. So now Lancaster Bombers did a fair amount of damage, a respectable amount of damage in that round. It was just unfortunate they weren't able to get the AKs into that, really, as the armor just wasn't working out well.
Here we go, though. A very key round as we get into round number 26. Tobbs with the movement makes it over towards short. Unfortunately, no one getting super aggressive early on, but they still might not expect him here. Flashes come on through. He misses the shot, though. Pretty key shot to find, honestly, is now heavy mid control. I do believe it's Nigel that's pushed all the way up there towards connector. They need to be aware of that on the CT side. Trying to jump up. I don't think the jumping headshot's going to come in, to be honest with you, Nige. But, you know, you can go for it, I guess. Bit of info gained, bit of burning done. Hello, Tobbs onto 2 HP, actually. That Molotov doing so much work. So maybe, what do I know, going for the jump peek into the Molotov really does pay dividends. Jamstain going to try and answer back now. They're boosting up towards middle, though. I think he's just spotted out the barrel of the gun there. He peeks out to try and find fades, but can't get it done. Nade going to go down, although it does hardly any damage at all. Very, very low HP players on the CT side. Warwick are in prime position to take this round, and maybe even the game, if they can reset this economy of Lancaster yet again.
Yep. Lancaster would be in quite the predicament, though. That would put Warwick possibly into 14 rounds. Lancaster now. Their economy is so bad if you just press tab. Well, obviously, you guys won't be able to, but I'm pressing tab right now. It's $0. Looks like it's going to be an AXQ coming out, though. And Enigma really needs to find something, but isn't able to as Mason takes him down.
Yeah, the AWP shot in from Fades as well. Brings us into a 5-on-3 here. Tobbs still on 2 HP. Jamstain on 22. There's hardly any time remaining, so that's something that works in their favor, but I don't think they're going to be able to capitalize. And now only 2 of them remaining. Both very low HP yet again. There are a few opportunities to pick up some kills on the T side of things, but I think the save going to come in from Lancaster. I'm not quite sure what that was from Jamstain, to be honest. He just kind of half peeked out and gets taken down. Nigel as well tries to cut off the escape of Wilnius, but unfortunately cannot get it done. Nonetheless, a 14th round on the board as the Warwick Stretchy boys look set to take this game if they play their cards right. Like you say, that economy of the CT side really cannot suffer this lost round.
Yep. It's unfortunate then for Lancaster, I should say. Interesting to see what they would do in this round. The economy solo, it could be match point here for Warwick. Do they want to go to overtime, or do they want to just try and close it out here with a force buy?
That is the question. The to be or not to be of CSGO, I think. Certainly. To buy or not to buy. Either way, they opt not to buy. A few P250s in, and obviously that AK that was saved by Wilnius, which I think ultimately he is going to look to save into the next round as well, unless he can pull off some kind of a hero play. He's in Palace, far away from the bomb, far away from his teammates. I think he is just looking to go for a bit of a save, maybe a trade kill found on towards Mason, who was obviously floating around that area, but I think that is even hopeful, to be honest. Enigma goes for the jump. MFX has plenty of time to take him down as he really went for a floating kind of jump there. Very large arc on it, I suppose, for a few of our physicists of CSGO, I guess. I don't know. Either way, Fate picks up one and towards middle, and only two remaining now. Wilnius, he has an opportunity here if they don't check this angle. He does love this one. Takes down Nigel, but cannot connect the spray on to the rest of the players. Gibby trades him back easily enough, and Jamstain is miles away from the bomb. The only opportunity he has here is if he possibly finds Mason, but I don't think that's going to happen. Or, oh, come on, Mason doesn't even go for the knife. I thought he was going to go for it, but doesn't. Match point now, 15-12. Warwick firmly in the lead.
Yep, they've got a real buy out here, obviously. Not going for the overtime buy in the previous round. Plenty of utility available, except for those on Tobbs. It'll be a real shame if Tobbs does lose this game, and indeed Lancaster. As Tobbs has been absolutely fantastic at the AWP on the CT side. Being able to find those opening picks, get a couple kills per round really as well. Has plateaued a little bit in the past few rounds, but he's been fantastic nonetheless. And the double AWP comes out. Wilness takes down MFX there towards B.
Very important kill to have found as well, to be fair. Just kind of surveying what's going on for the T side. It looks like they wanted to go for an A split. It's going to be difficult being a man down. Tobbs got to be careful not to turn away. Fades is so very close, takes him down. He was just kind of sticking out there. Now certainly in with a chance to take this round, Warwick, as they even up that man advantage scoreline. A lot of damage being done as Jamstain falls, in fact, to Fades. A 4-on-3 T side with a lot more utility as well. No kits for the CTs. They needed those initial kills to find some kind of an advantage going into the late game execute from late round execute rather from the Warwick Stretchy boys. But unfortunately, looks like things have all fallen apart. Gibby going to hear Enigma falling in towards middle here. Should be able to take him down easily enough. Fades finds the CT player rotating towards jungle, and it's all onto Ibrahim. He goes rushing on through the smoke, does manage to find one, but immediately traded back, and a 16-12 scoreline. It was very, very back and forth, I suppose, in terms of how many rounds were strung together, you know, chunks of back and forthness. But Warwick, towards the end there, it was their turn to have a chunk of rounds, and ultimately it allows them to secure the game. Very well done from them.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic for Warwick in the end. Still, commiserations to Lancaster there. They lose their rematch battle. It was unfortunate for them, but unfortunately just lost a little bit of momentum on the end of that CT side. Hopefully they can bounce back. They did get one win out of today that we saw in the first game, so it's not all bad, but still Warwick looking like the superior team overall.
Yeah, a little bit, and, you know, able to bounce back a lot better. A lot of teams, especially at this kind of level where, yeah, obviously very high up within the UK and things like that. I know some of the players play in the UK PL and whatnot, but ultimately it can be very, very easy for them to just mentally check out of the game, you know, and get roasted, basically. And when they were off to a very strong CT start there, you expect, in a lot of cases, for Lancaster to just run away with it and their opponents to maybe, like I say, check out and start buying negatives and things like that. It does happen sometimes when teams are getting walked all over, even at the higher ends of the CS kind of spectrum, I guess. The pro, well, maybe not super pro, but like your tier 3 teams, sometimes I've seen it. They do that and throw games away when maybe there's a small chance they can get back into it. But very well done from Warwick to keep their composure, that mental fortitude from them. Absolutely fantastic. And they are able to come back into it with a very nice end to that game and winning it quite comfortably, 16-12. So, I mean, like you said, Lancaster, yes, they won a game, but it was 16-14. And at a certain point, I'd kind of clocked York to win it. And maybe they threw it away a little bit, has to be said. Either way, that's going to be everything from us this evening. A huge thank you to all the guys who've been watching. Shout out to Lee, our producer, Dr. Pie, or John, as some of you may know him as our observer, all the admins, of course, and Dream. Thank you very much for joining me here this evening. A pleasure as always. But like I say, that's going to be it from us. We will be back next week, same time, same place, hopefully a little bit more on schedule next week, as there are a few server issues going into that second map. But it was a great evening nonetheless. We'll see you next week. And do be sure to drop a follow if you haven't already. Speak to you soon, guys.